The Israeli Antiquities Authority uncovered the remains of a 1,500-year-old Byzantine church just outside of Jerusalem.
Wow, look at that! Oh, it's just coming to life. That's unbelievable. My brain is exploding right now.
It looks like it was written just a few hours ago.
It really does.
The trowel struck something solid with a sharp metallic crack that rang out across the waterlogged trench. Dr. Morai Avram immediately dropped to his knees in the mud, ignoring the cold and the mess, and began clearing away layers of compacted silt with his bare hands. Slowly, piece by piece, a mosaic floor revealed itself beneath the earth. And there, woven into the ancient design, were Greek letters, untouched, unread, unseen for more than 1,400 years. At first, it felt like a routine discovery, another fragment of history returning to the light. But then came the twist. When imaging experts carefully reconstructed the damaged inner ring of text, they uncovered something no one expected. The inscription contained words attributed directly to Jesus, words that do not appear in any gospel, any known manuscript, or any recognized scripture ever recorded. And the message they formed was not one of comfort or hope. It was a warning. It wasn't a blessing or a promise carved into that stone. It was a command, an order to protect something from unnamed threats the inscription refuses to describe. The inner ring of letters had been carved so lightly they were almost invisible, as if the Byzantine builders intentionally hid them from casual eyes. You wouldn't see them unless you already knew exactly where to look, which raises a chilling question. What were they so afraid someone might find? A city that vanished. To understand why this discovery feels so disturbing, you have to understand the location. This wasn't Jerusalem. It wasn't Nazareth. It was Bethesda. And if you're familiar with the Bible, that name should give you pause. Bethesda was the hometown of Peter, Andrew, and Philip, three of the most significant disciples in the entire New Testament. It was the place where Jesus healed a blind man by placing mud on his eyes. It was near here that the feeding of the 5,000 took place. In many ways, Bethesda served as a kind of operational center for much of Jesus' ministry, which is exactly why this discovery feels so unsettling. Because if something was hidden here, carefully guarded, deliberately concealed, it wasn't placed in just any city. It was placed at the heart of everything. Bethsaida was one of only 3 cities that Jesus openly condemned. In the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus turns toward the city and pronounces judgment, "Woe to you." This was a place that had witnessed undeniable miracles, powerful signs that should have erased all doubt about who he was. And yet, many still refused to believe. He warned that on the day of judgment, Bethsaida would be brought down to Hades. And according to history, that's eerily close to what happened. By the 4th century, the city had become a ghost town. It disappeared from maps. Roman historians stopped mentioning it. Travelers searched for it and came up empty. It was as if the earth itself had swallowed the city whole, a disappearance so complete it felt almost like the fulfillment of a curse. For nearly 2,000 years, scholars argued about where Bethsaida had actually stood. 2 rival locations, decades of intense academic debate, reputations built and destroyed over the question. Then, in 2016, Professor R. Stephen Notley and Dr. Morai Avram began excavating a waterlogged site known as El Araj, near the Sea of Galilee. What they uncovered would not only challenge long-held assumptions, it would raise questions no one was prepared to answer. The